this podcast. There's going to be a lot of spoilers in this podcast. Is Deep Dive Podcast. I'm your host, Gamer Arnton D. We are going to review the Avatar, The Last Airbender Season 1. Okay, we're gonna talk about my first thoughts on this. So, I'm gonna have like, first one is like when they announce it, and then the second one is like, okay, what's it called? My first time just watching it. Okay, we're gonna start. So when I heard of it, I was a little like I was excited honestly about it because I think when they announced it, it was kind of like when when I was kind of into the Avatar a little bit because I was just like, hey, yo, it's pretty cool. I watched it. Um, but yeah, I for me it was kind of interesting because I'm like, oh, all right, Netflix is gonna make it. I'm gonna guess they're good because I heard that like Netflix give a lot of people like a lot of the creators a lot of money to create it, the shows and that stuff. But I never know about like what they called they adapt to live action stuff. I heard like a lot of people said it's pretty bad. So I was like, oh, I don't know about that one. I didn't know they made some bad live action versions of anime. So I was like, oh, okay, that's gonna be interesting. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So, my first thoughts, my this is like my real first thoughts. I was hoping it was gonna be like a Sukotano, the if I got the Sukotano series, because they kind of made that as like the continuation of the Star Wars Rebel. So I was like, oh, okay, I hope they do that because I heard like they have what's it called? I know the Avatar have a book about what's that called? Oh no, wait, hold up. Azula and like what happened to her after like the war kind of thing. And I was like, oh, probably they're gonna do that, but nope. They kind of did the beginning or the retelling of the cartoon to just live action basically. I was like, oh, okay, like all right. I'm not like gonna be like really mad about that, but I'm like, all right. Like the only thing I don't like about those things is just like, what's the point of watching the cartoon and then just watch the live action? Because you're just basically watching like, okay, there's a live action version of a cartoon that you watched before. Yeah, it's just like okay, like I think sometimes it's interesting because of like okay, how the characters will look in live action. I think that's the only thing that I will say, like, okay, I understand about that. All right. Okay. So, all right, we're gonna talk about the characters in live action. Um, I be honest with you guys. I was honestly only here for Azula, May, and Tylee. That's like the only three characters that I was like, okay, I want to see them in live action, and they were, and I was just happy. I was like, okay, yay, woo! I was honestly surprised that they showed up in season one because honestly, I was thinking they okay that they're just gonna do the same thing season two or something, like they'll just show up in season two, and then boom in season one they just show up. I was like, oh, all right, okay, that's that's cool, awesome, thank you. And okay, so the a character that I'm kind of interested to see in live action is basically Toph. I hope I say that character's name right. I just want to see her like I kind of just want to see how they're gonna make her in live action. Basically, that's like the only reason why. Like basically, I think about Toph. I was like, oh, I wonder like how they're gonna put her in live action kind of thing. All right. Oh yeah, and my favorite characters are oh yeah, I already said it, like Tylee, May, and Azula. Basically, the other characters, I just, mm, just for me, it's not interesting. Like maybe I'll put Sa- Sak- Sakura. I hope I say his name right. Sakura maybe I'll put him as like, okay, maybe I'll like, he's just funny for me. I'll laugh at a couple of his jokes he does, but like, yeah, basically, minus him is just basically Azula, Ty Lee, and May. Yep. And then, oh yeah, we're gonna talk about Aang being Godzilla. I'll be honest, I was so hyped for that. I was like, when I saw that, I was so hyped because basically I was like expecting him to eat that guy. I forgot his name already, but like freaking guy just gonna eat him. I was like, oh yes, this is what I'm waiting. I'm been waiting for. And then no, that didn't happen. I was disappointed. But Godzilla, they gave me like Godzilla hype right there because I watched Godzilla minus one, and I was like, man, this just made me so like I'm like happy. Just that. I was like, oh man. I'm a big Godzilla fan, but man, that just made my day, honestly. The freaking Aang being Godzilla. All right, so my full thoughts on Avatar. This is just for season one. I'll just tell you this. It's okay. I'll just say it wasn't like I say it wasn't good and it wasn't bad. It was just like mediocre because it's just like all right, like I don't know. For me, I feel like this live action version, it's kind of like a thing that you kind of like you don't remember at all, except like that like one friend being like, "Hey, remember the Netflix made a Avatar Last Airbender live action?" And then you'd be like, "Ah, I remember that." Yeah, that definitely I remember that. I was like, "Oh, like it takes you a moment to just remember that they actually made that." It's kind of like it kind of feel like that when I was watching it, kind of thing, because it was like I'll be honest, nothing really specifically I remember from the live action. What's the sorry, the live action to just stick with me, like except that Godzilla scene. Basically, that was it, and yeah, I think that's really it. Like it's just okay. It's not that bad though. If I give them a rating, I guess like I put it as like a I say like there's a 5 out of 10 honestly. Like mm, I did enjoy it, but not as like oh yay. Like you know what I mean, like the ending. I was like okay, all right, like all right. I already know what's gonna happen. So basically, yep. Okay, okay. We're gonna talk about season two and season three. Um, now, so I guess honestly, I'll be waiting just for this. Um, I'm not like really excited for season two or season three. When it comes out, I will definitely watch it. But like, I don't know. Like, I just hope that they kind of like. I can't think of anything honestly, but like I just feel like I just hope that they do like maybe like some new stuff honestly. Like maybe they did some new stuff. I just don't really remember it perfectly. It's just I just hope that just it's not like gonna be like all right, here you go. Here's season two and season three, and then it's just gonna be like a copy pasting. Is that what I feel like when I was watching Avatar? It's just like oh, just a live action version. That's it. It's nothing special. So I just hope like they can do the same thing, but I just hope that they'll do something that like I'll like probably not forget or I might be hyped for it, basically. And yeah, that's it for this podcast. If you guys like this podcast, hit the like button. And if you're a new person, hit the subscribe button. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.